But I do think that, a lot of the things that you were saying in the preseason that got some negative reaction came true tonight.
Yeah, they don't have the receivers. And Jalen Milroe is a very gifted runner, but he is who he thought he is. He's a limited passer, and he does not fit the mold of any of the quarterbacks that we've seen Alabama thrive with in its, smash and pound era, where if a guy's open, they're going to hit him, or in their, air raid era with Bryce Young and Tua and Jalen Hurts and all those guys. So, Jalen Miller is a really good player, and I think he would fit. But for what Bama wants to do, they don't have the offensive line to use him in the way that I think would be most effective. Because you saw when he gets the corner and his legs are a threat, Texas' secondary freaked out, and he was able to make some really good throws. But he's not the guy that's just going to sit back in the pocket. We talked about this on Thursday. I compared him to Anthony Richardson, that if you can limit his legs, keep him reined in. And Texas did a pretty good job of that, spying him, not letting him just run wild on you. Then you're going to be okay if you say, hey, we're not going to let you run for 180 yards on us. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. And they did that. And I think you combine that with the fact that Alabama's receivers aren't very good at getting open. We saw that all last year with Bryce Young, who was good enough to stand in the pocket and hit them when they were open. Another struggle against a good defense to get open, and there wasn't a lot of space there, and he struggled when they made him throw the ball. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I've been saying this, for the entirety of the offseason, that I just did not love this Bama team, because for what college football is in 2023, they're poorly suited when they go up against these teams that can match them in athletes. And we saw that tonight.
And for a while there, they were kind of holding Texas's offense at bay, and the ground and pound thing was kind of working. But I kind of felt like every single throwing play that Alabama called in that game felt the same. Jalen Milroe got the ball. He dropped back. Texas pressured the hell out of him. He stepped up in the pocket, or he evaded to the side. He ran. Sometimes he picked up 8 yards. Sometimes he picked up 2, but it was kind of like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, then take off. And that, you're not Bryce Young. And, there are things that he did, there in the fourth quarter, or that drive in the third quarter when they marched down the field and scored a touchdown. He did a really good job. I don't think that he's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but the consistency when you're playing against another elite team, that's going to work a lot in the SEC versus the teams that they're playing. But it's not going to work against teams that are actually suited to be on the indoor dome stage in January.
Well, the issue is this. It's not that he can't make some great throws. That touchdown throw to Jermaine Burton was unbelievable. That was a great throw. He can make some good throws. The issue is when you've got a wide open receiver like he had on that back, I'd have to see if he was going to score. But that wheel route to the back that he had.
Yes, you can't miss that wheel
When you
route.
have a wide open throw, can you hit that 95% of the time? And the great quarterbacks do. And I just don't think he's that guy. He's not going to be that guy every single throw. I just don't know that you can develop the kind of accuracy that you need to be the kind of guy that can take Alabama to a team that wins, that wins the West, wins the SEC, gets the playoff. I don't see it this year.
It's 2 sports writers in a podcast when it's just Marriott artwork in the background.
Yes.
So do you think Alabama, I got 2 questions for you now.
Okay.
One, well, there were times in the second quarter in this game, Dave, where I was like, I wonder if they're going to, think about going to a different quarterback, because Nick Saban
said they thought about it. He said they considered
have done that in the past. But 2, are they cooked now in your mind as the national championship contender? Did you get confirmation enough to give up on them?
I mean, is it impossible? No, they're still got really good athletes, right? And maybe they figure something out. Maybe the offensive line improves. I mean, you'd have to see something very, very different. I think this starts in the offensive line again. I don't think the offensive line is good enough to be the kind of offense that they're going to have to be to utilize Milroe and score the amount of points they're going to need to score to win the SEC, to win a playoff game, to win a national championship. So this is why I thought Alabama was going to be 9-3. I said I think they're going to go 9-3 all offseason, and I said I think certainly it's possible that they just go on a revenge tour, but it's going to have to be a bunch of guys that are popping and surprising you and showing you why they were 5-star recruits. I didn't see that tonight, Ari. I watched them play. The defense was really good, but I watched that offense. I think Kobe Prentice is a nice player, but I didn't see, Jace McClellan is who he is. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not, Najee Harris. He's a good back, but he's not a game breaker, and they do not have game breakers on offense. And these are the kind of games that those guys pop, and we didn't see that.